Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and I am back with another Disney layout. I hope you guys are excited to see some Animal Kingdom pages because I do have a few coming up. But this one starts off with a really fun background from a DCWV paper pad that I've used a bunch already for some Animal Kingdom pages, but it is just so pretty and so perfect, and I wish it was still available, but it is quite older. But the Sun Chaser paper pad is definitely one of my favorites, and I hope they release another one next summer when they do some summer lines. But what I end up doing is pulling out that palm print in the back there with all the beautiful leaves and then pulling out some layers. I decided since I'm getting like this blue and green vibe, I should start inking my edges so they don't blend in too much with each other. Add a little bit of extra texture, a little bit extra distress on my edges. And if you guys didn't know, I do have an entire ink swatch booklet here, which happens to be cat themed because it was like one of my best solid stamps I had that would showcase, a crisp line, etc. when I was making these little stamped swatches. So I end up pulling out Chipped Sapphire, which is one I go to often. I think it's just dark enough that it's not navy, it's still a bright blue. So it really goes with the things I've pulled out here. And again, all of this is from DCWV until I get into the 6x6 section, which I thought I was going to use more of this Fancy Pants paper pad. I really want to use it up this month if I'm being quite honest. I used it a couple times before, but I haven't been able to finish it. But it is on its last leg, so hopefully, this is another layer down. I do a fun black and white, again, leaf pattern on the back of this photo. And this is just a photo of my brother and my parents in front of the Animal Kingdom sign because it's always a good day to visit Animal Kingdom. Let me know if you guys are Disney fans, what your favorite park is in the comments down below. And if you guys don't know, I have been going to Disney a lot more now that I have my annual pass, and I'm super excited to be back and sharing that with you guys over on Instagram. But if you're interested in seeing Disney vlogs, all of that content's currently over on Patreon during my weekly vlogs. And it's really nice to be able to capture a little bit of Disney but not have to focus on it in a way that makes it like anxious and not fun anymore. But I did have a lot of fun with this layout. So I end up switching out the blue for some green. There was a lot more green shades and I wanted something a little bit different. So I go with Shabby Shutters, which I think is an underrated color. I loved this color back when I used it a while back in a pastel kit I'd made. It's like the perfect pastel green for me. And I really, really love inking my edges right now. I saw Amy do it during her live stream a couple weeks ago, and I said, I gotta start doing that again. And that's what I did. So I ended up inking all of them. Even if it's a dark paper, sometimes ink just on the edge can just add a little bit of saturation to the color. It might not change the color, but it does add a little bit of saturation to it. So it's subtle, but it is there. And even if it was like black cardstock, I feel like I would still ink the edges just because it seems like you have to. But then I get to dive in and start on the embellishing. And what's really fun about my current How to Kill a Kit with Style is that it is mostly embellishments. A couple paper pads here and there, but mostly embellishments. And with this paper pad from DCWV, there's a lot of blues and greens, which is perfect for the My Mind's Eye Happy Days collection that I've pulled in here with the stickers and with the die cuts. And that's mainly what my embellishments consist of on this page. I end up finding these LA Studio pieces though that are bright yellow that I thought would be such a fun pop. There is a little bit of yellow in the actual sign of Animal Kingdom. The actual letters themselves are a shade of yellow, but I didn't want to push it too far, with this bright yellow, so we'll see how it all compares. But it's nice that with paper pads, you can really get some of the items, like your title, out of the way because they have those cut aparts. Sometimes your journaling's already out of the way because they have those cut aparts as well. And that's why I love paper pads. I think they're very versatile and just have a lot to them for a good bang for your buck. And they're relatively inexpensive when you get them on sale. But you can see here that my clusters come together pretty naturally. I'm thinking banners in the top right, this fun moped, which I had no idea if I was going to be able to use this moped, but I ended up being able to on this title card that I ended up pulling out, and it's mainly a fit for color, not necessarily a theme, but there are, if many of you are fans, a lot of bicycles at Animal Kingdom. There's actually a fun little sort of town they've recreated, and there's a ton of bicycles and like a faux bicycle shop. So does the moped fit 100%? No, but I think it can. It can make it work. You can make it work, guys, don't worry. But I do end up pulling out my T-square ruler to try to put this into place, but then I almost ran out of room for my title card. In the spacing, I just wasn't convinced in my embellishing to really commit to everything in place right away. I did also look at using this tassel. I thought it'd be fun to have a little bit of movement on the page. And then of course, like I said, I wanted something journaling wise. And while there are some journaling cards in the paper pad, I ended up using this piece, which is from the My Mind's Eye Good Happy Days collection. And again, is it crooked? Maybe a little bit. It's okay though. We're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for stories on pages that we're happy and excited to tell. So that's what I'm doing here. Inking some of my items. Some of my layers are inked, some of them aren't. I'm not a huge perfectionist in that light, but I did run out of room because I have a giant moped on the bottom of this. So I end up having to rip it up and scooch it over, which luckily did not cause any damage to the background paper. Sometimes it does, but luckily we're covering up most of it anyway, so it's no worries as we scooch that over to the right hand side to make room for the title. And I did opt to not do that layer in the top right. I thought it was too busy to have a floral on top of a leaf pattern. So I end up starting to embellish down here at the bottom a little bit more by using two of those banners there next to the journaling spot, and then similarly a little tag from Ellie Studio there as well, because they're summer themed, and so it says Paradise Found, which I thought would be a good fit for Animal Kingdom. But really, whenever you're scrapbooking Disney, you can go outside the normal Disney bubble of scrapbooking and do things that are non-Disney. Like here, I'm just doing some fun, adventurous, outdoorsy, naturey, exotic papers and embellishments. And obviously, depending on your style, you might already have this in your stash, but there's no need to go get the Disney themed items. I even have an Animal Kingdom stamp I could have pulled in on here, but I didn't end up doing that. But again, more Animal Kingdom themed layouts coming, so be sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so. And if you've missed out on my previous Disney videos, I do have a full Disney scrapbooking playlist for you guys, which I will link directly below so you guys can check that out. And I did use my Nuvo adhesive to adhere down all the little bits and bobs. And recently, I've hung up some of my layouts on the wall to display them, and some things have fallen off, which just goes to show you, double check you've glued everything down before you put it in your album or on display, because I now have to go do surgery on some layouts that need a little bit of extra love and care. Now this was my first time using a tassel, and I wasn't sure how to adhere it, but a mini glue dot saved the day. It is definitely the best way to adhere it in my book since I don't have anything to actually attach it to. But luckily, to finish off this page, like on my previous one, I had these perfect enamel dots that were just the perfect color. There's some from Recollections, some from Hobby Lobby, and some are from W+9, which are, again, just perfect color scheme. And who doesn't love a great matching enamel dot? I know I do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. Let me know what you think of it. It is very centered heavy. I could have mounted it on another piece of like cardstock for a nice border. I could have done some mixed media to tone down the background. But overall, just a fun layer filled, used a bunch of scraps from that paper pad and had fun with it. But here are the close-ups so you guys can see that tassel and all the enamel dots I shoved onto this page. But if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe because it is free and you won't want to miss out on future videos. And if you're interested in getting Disney content, head over to my Patreon where all of my Disney vlogs are currently. But thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.